Just witnessed is the newly released trailer for Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. You may be thinking, that looks like a full-on remake. We had the same thought, so we spoke with 3 key staff to get to the bottom of this Deluxe Remaster. We began our investigation with director Ryosuke Murai. Well, actually, it wouldn't be an exaggeration to call this game a remake, considering the work we put into it. Before we could even ask a question, Murai was giving us the inside scoop about the game. The first thing you'll notice is the improved graphics. The new specs allow the game to run at 4K 60 FPS. We've also made quite a few quality of life improvements, like the ability to move while aiming, as well as other adjustments to make controlling Frank more intuitive. Thanks to popular demand, we've added an autosave feature and fine-tuned the user interface. The game will be fully voiced in 9 languages, with text in 14, giving more players around the world a chance to enjoy characters' dialogue. We've also made some improvements to NPC behavior that we hope will make surviving the zombie apocalypse with all the colorful characters that much more enjoyable. That sounds like a complete overhaul. It makes me wonder if the game's main concept is still intact. If you've played the original, rest assured that its core remains unchanged in this Deluxe Remaster. We did our best to respect the direction of the original game. We kept the fundamental gameplay the same while improving upon the user experience. With this, we believe that both veterans and newcomers alike will be able to enjoy a fresh experience. Our goal was to ensure that today's players would experience the same shock players felt when the original game was released. We believe we accomplished this goal with Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. We hope that everyone will give it a try. Unable to get any definitive answers out of director Murai, we gave art director Satoshi Takamatsu the 3rd degree. It turns out he had ambitions of his own for this project. Because the original came out 18 years ago, there were many limitations during development. Thanks to nearly 2 decades of technological advancements, we were able to accomplish a lot that couldn't be done back then. For example, Resident Evil, Capcom's other zombie franchise, focused on quality over quantity. Dead Rising took a different approach. The goal was to pack as many zombies as possible into that huge shopping mall. This meant each individual zombie wasn't as polished as we would have liked. However, this time around, we were able to focus on quality as well. As the art director, I couldn't be more pleased that we were able to apply high-end modeling and production to both the main character Frank and all of the NPCs. Of course, another critical aspect of Dead Rising that we have to address is the shopping mall setting. In the original game, the Willamette Parkview Mall is made up of several areas, like Entrance Plaza and Paradise Plaza, each with its own unique characteristics. We've taken these designs and evolved them even further by adding real-time lighting and shadow effects, so that each location takes on a different appearance, depending on the time of day. That's how much detail we've put into this project. For character animations, we tried to limit unnecessary changes and use the original data as much as possible, especially during action scenes. We could have made them more realistic with today's tools, but we wanted to preserve the unique and comical movements that made the original Dead Rising so special. Takamatsu was finally giving us the info we were looking for. However, we couldn't stop there. We had to know why this is called a Deluxe Remaster. To do that, we tracked down the game's producer and managed to get his account. I think Dead Rising is a unique game with extremely tight game design, even by today's standards. However, we also knew the original game was released 18 years ago, and that improvements were needed to reach a modern audience. That's why we focused on improving playability, in addition to overhauling the graphics. This game truly deserves the title of Deluxe Remaster. Its unique game design allows it to stand apart from other zombie games. It feels fresh even today. Morimoto took a moment to compose himself before divulging something terrifying. Here at Capcom, we're no strangers to zombies. But this game takes it to another level. With a wry smile on his face, Morimoto took out his phone and showed it to us. And there it was, Resident Evil 7, in a form we never imagined. Capcom is thrilled to bring its third Resident Evil title to the iPhone 15 Pro and other Apple devices. The game has been optimized greater than ever before to ensure the best possible RE experience. As with Resident Evil Village and RE4, using a controller like the DualSense or a mobile controller that attaches directly to the phone allows for a surprisingly comfortable gameplay experience. That being said, when playing on a mobile device without a controller, we felt the standard virtual controller just didn't cut it. So the development team took it upon themselves to optimize the touch controls for Resident Evil 7 on iOS. One of the biggest challenges we faced was implementing the auto fire feature. You can enable this setting so that your weapon fires automatically when aiming at an enemy, making it much easier to play without the use of peripherals. The early Resident Evil games also had auto-aiming. Despite the differences in specs, Morimoto wasn't willing to compromise on usability. With Apple's help, he was able to take on new challenges that prioritized the immersive experience. The menu, options, and inventory are now all touchscreen compatible, allowing for a more intuitive experience. The first part of the game is free to play. Resident Evil 7 is guaranteed to be frightful fun. If you have a compatible device, we highly recommend checking it out to see what you think. Since its release in 2017, Resident Evil 7 has sold 13 million copies. Now it's available in a new form on Apple devices. Up next, a confession from Koshi Nakanishi, the director behind the classic. Resident Evil was, well, if I'm being honest, as a brand, we were off track. And legendary director Yoshinori Kawano discloses the secret origin of Dead Rising. I feel like Dead Rising is the classic zombie game. In the second half of the program, we'll learn previously untold stories about how the games were developed.